The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Thank you for joining us for the Aspect Unplugged virtual event, Experience Continuity, using context cookies to provide continuity when switching customer service channels. Joining us today is Evan Dobkin, Aspect Product Marketing Manager. Today we'll introduce the Continuity Server and Aspect Experience Continuity, an intelligent customer interaction concept that provides context when moving between channels and reduces the age-old complaint of customers having to repeat themselves. Evan?
Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Dobkin, Maddie said, Product Marketing Manager for Aspect. And what I want to talk with everybody about today and introduce is this concept of continuity as the real backbone and foundation is to make omni-channel possible. We've come a long way in a very short time between offering single channel, multi-channel, and now omni-channel. And what allows omni-channel to happen is the seamless movement from one channel to another. And in doing that type of movement, what we really are talking about is not just being able to start one place, stop, and finish on another, but being able to move all of the data from those interactions into those channels and inside of those channels to all of the people that you're interacting with. So I think a really good example of where we are right now and where we can be in a very short period of time is something that took place for me recently when I was trying to interact with my bank. Now, my bank has a phenomenal native mobile application. It does just about everything that I need to do on a day-to-day basis, so I can do my transfers, my check deposits with my phone. I can, send money to people. I can do all of these different things. I can make customer service inquiries. Recently, I was traveling out of the country of Mexico, so what I wanted to do was notify the bank that I was traveling outside of the country so that when I went to use my debit or credit card, I didn't get flagged and the transaction was frozen. So I went inside of the mobile app, looked around, I searched for that term. I couldn't find any type of automated functionality that I could do via self-service through the app. And when I found the information about how to do that type of alert, it told me that I needed to call in and talk to a representative, which is fine. But what happened at that point was my mobile app connected me just back to the normal part of my phone. It popped in the 800 number, and then I was at the IVR front door with no real idea where to go other than that I wanted to talk to an agent. So in doing so, the issue was that now I'm at the front of the IVR, I'm no deeper in the queue, there's no information, and I need to now get to that agent who at the same time is starting over from scratch with me. So what context and what continuity and what omni-channel could do for us and is really available right now to do so is to take all of that data from my prior interactions, from my search history, from my past experiences possibly as a customer, recent things that I've done, and present all of that data to the agent, and then even more intelligently route me to the correct agent and probably give me priority inside of the queue to get me to that agent who can make everything possible. And really this goes into what are the complaints that people have right now about using various self-service channels and switching from one to another. Repeating yourself is annoying. It's also kind of useless in the fact that you've already provided so much of this data. Even if you're using an IVR and you're speaking into the IVR and not pressing 1 or pressing 2, you've got all of those recordings that have been done, in the course of your transaction. And this is something that's very common still in IVRs today. Now, it's something that we definitely can correct with better IVR design, but it's also about making that data portable, these cookies, these instances in time of your interaction with all. We're storing them inside of the continuity server and making them available really as reference and data points to the next interactions and steps that you're going to take. And mobile genuinely is the new reality. Mobile is a platform. Mobile is not a channel, but it's really the device and the platform that's best to give you access to all of these different self-service offerings as a customer. And so the stats bear out that not only is mobile increasing in terms of how people are accessing the web, their email, phones, but it's an increase in the first thing that people are reaching for in making those interaction attempts. And we're 2 years away from a gigantic increase in all of customer support taking place from the mobile device. So if that's the case, and you've got what is effectively a very powerful computer in your pocket that has the ability to make phone calls, that has the ability to go on the web or use a native app or SMS or Twitter, the best way to let someone use that device and then to make use of those interactions is to tie it all together. And really what we're trying to avoid is making these same mistakes that we've made before. Now, we kind of call them mistakes now, but at the time, these were great technologies. They were new. This was the next great thing. And so what we're going to do is leverage all of this great work that's been done so far in creating various channels and put a layer that ties all of it together and makes it a much more enjoyable experience because it's more efficient, it's more tailored to that user, because you know more about them now from all of those interactions that you've got available and also from all the CRM data that you've got available. This becomes a very powerful thing that allows the customer to have a really great experience with you. So what was Mobile Customer Care 1.0? Now, we say 1.0, this was very, very recent. But these were siloed applications. The mobile application itself was, maybe it was started by marketing, maybe it was started by, someone else inside of the company. The web team was the one who came up with it. But mobile app dev shops were the ones who built these apps for enterprises, and these are not application developers who are familiar with the things that we are. They don't know the contact center. They don't really know about customer experience, and they don't know about, how you design these to align with the other channels that you have. And so, like my example, you just get popped over to the IVR, you requalify yourself, entering in your account number, your address, your phone number, your password, and there's no context preservation. So this is mobile 1.0. And once you've called in, you kind of threw everything else out the window and you started over again. So customers now understand and expect better customer service and a better customer experience. And depending on what industry you're in, if a customer has a bad experience interacting with you, not necessarily even the product, that could be cause for them to try out one of your competitors. If it's as easy as going to another website and signing up, your customer service is your product in that case. So Gartner has showed us that inconsistency between these customer support channels are causing people to leave. And by the end of this year now, an inadequate return on investment is going to drive insurers to abandon 40% of their customer-facing mobile apps. So it means we have the opportunity now to come in, design apps that are really around the customer and not necessarily just what the business thinks. You have to think from the customer's point of view. One of the main points that I like to bring up with our customers is that there is no wrong channel for the customer. Customers don't really differentiate between channels. Now you say, on your website, call us, email us, visit our website, try out our mobile app. Those are all venues, or those are all pathways to you, the provider. And customers don't differentiate, so they don't think, well, because I'm calling on the phone, I should get different quality of service from using the native application versus using email or checking the knowledge base. They expect, and rightfully so, the same level of consistency across those channels. Now, inside of Aspect, there's another major component that makes that possible, and that's our customer experience platform, CXP. And what that allows one to do is develop a single centralized customer service application and then deploy it across multiple channels, customizing the way that the user is going to interact with it across that channel. So you've got a certain number of flows and interactions that you've designed. That's something that could be deployed as an IVR, and then you add voice browser and all of the different IVR prompts to it. It's something that could function very similarly as an SMS application, or the same type of processes in a mobile web application. So when you have that consistency of design and context, the customer is not going to decide to take the call in, speak to an agent route every time, especially if they didn't want to. So self-service experiences, what are the things that frustrate our customers? Long IVR menus are one. What happens in the worst cases of IVR? Your call gets dropped. You're waiting forever to speak to an agent. You've gone through all of these steps to get an out of office and out of hours announcement. The menus are not set up intuitively, and they're also not recognizing the things that the customer may have done previously. So when you're starting in a self-service channel, maybe besides IVR, what's frustrating? Well, if I start in the IVR and I need to go somewhere else, that I can't easily complete it in that other channel. If I start in the IVR and I'm told I need to go to the website to fill out a form. If I now have to do everything that I just did inside of the IVR and I talk to an agent, that repetition stinks. And the really interesting thing is not being able to continue the conversation with an agent while staying on the same channel. So this is something that we talk about, and I'll show an example later of starting in a self-service channel with automation and then being able to then transition out of the self-service to a live agent, but stay in that same channel with all of this very useful and very exciting preservation of context and preservation of interaction. So what does Aspect Experience Continuity provide? So this is true omni-channel. Omni-channel is not just having multi-channels and doing it better. It's being able to create a seamlessness between these channels to move back and forth and bring all of your interactions and data with you. So that context also is going not just inside of that one channel to another if I'm switching from SMS to IVR or to the native app, but being able to do it with that agent and empowering and bettering the agent's ability to provide a really quality customer experience because they know through the continuity server what the customer's done in their interactions up to that point, recent interactions or the one that they're in right now, as well as being able to pull in data from the CRM to tell you about that customer. Maybe there's something that you know that they've applied for a mortgage with your bank recently. Well, if you're going through the menus and the customer hasn't been able really to get what they want done, you can pop up this combination of data that will tell you maybe the most likely things that the customer is inquiring about. And so what is the continuity server? It's a database with a simple REST API that allows storage and retrieval of our context cookies, these data points that are saved in real time as the interactions are taking place. And any customer touch point that's created through any type of customer-facing application, you can design with this type of continuity by writing back into the database. So what are the things that you're going to know about? Well, like I said, we've got the dropout points in our IVR interactions, like an incomplete business task. What's the last thing that somebody did inside of the mobile application? When's the last time they talked to an agent? What's the thing that they talked about with that agent? And what were they doing on the website? Now, all of these are, I'm not going to say simple examples, but they're common ones, and there's a substantial amount more depth that's possible at every one of these examples. So if it's the last issue that's discussed with your agent, it may go a bit deeper than just, the word mortgage. Maybe there were specific questions about the APR rate. There were specific questions about escrow. All of these things are available and can be cross-linked through the various systems that you have available, like internal knowledge bases. So if somebody's wanting to know, maybe they're a first-time home buyer, well, what is escrow? Can you explain how the money goes back and forth? The agent can pull up a knowledge base article very quickly and have all of that referenceable instead of having to search in real time. And so what is the point of the experience continuity? Well, it's really show them that you know them. We talk a lot now about personalization, and personalization is extremely critical to provide to our customers because they want to have a relationship with the companies they do business with. Now, what does that mean in terms of demonstrating this? We have to show them. We could say, oh, well, I know you because of what's in my database. You're a married person, you're 33 years old, you recently bought your first house, maybe you work here. Yes, that's good demographic information, but what do you really know about them? What you know about them is how we've interacted before. Pulling those continuity pieces out, those context cookies, really allows you to say, well, I understand that, on, the 15th of every month that you do transfers so that you can pay your bills out of your checking account. combine that with information that you know that they have the app installed on their phone. Maybe if they sign in that day, maybe you just offer that right at the top and say, are you looking to do a bills transfer to, this utility and your car payment? This type of predictive thing, it goes a long way with customers because, maybe you've changed the way your mobile app looks. Maybe you've changed your IVR menus. But if you're anticipating and looking to provide that positive experience and not just throw an offer their way, they're really going to appreciate that, and it opens the door for these cross-sell and upsell opportunities depending on the type of interaction. So this is really personalizing the self-service. Now, offering in-life mobile experiences, these are when you're interacting over the mobile device, these mobile moments, these events within the mobile applications can always be improved. We can do better. And so, offer them the ability to do things through self-service, because this is really what we want. People want the ability to self-serve first, and if they can't take care of it that way, then offer a really high-quality interaction with the agent. So that goes a long way with your customer satisfaction. It saves your agents to do the most critical tasks and being able to shift things that are better served or better offered by self-service to those channels, and then have your agents work on the things that are of higher value between them and the customers that really need to talk to somebody. So this reduces your transaction time. This reduces the call duration for that agent. Your first call resolution rate is going to improve, and kind of the tangible, intangible is improving that customer experience. It's something that you may be hard thinking, well, that's hard to quantify. Maybe you send out a post-call survey, which is valuable, but how do I rate, whether that customer enjoyed their experience? Are they staying with you? Are they going to these other channels more and trying out the different self-service options? There are metrics that are possible to really track this customer experience, and offering these in a well-planned way is how we're going to see that improvement in experience. So omni-channel is not a thing that you buy. It's a strategy. It's a blueprint to be able to tie all of these different channels together and improve the channel, one, and two, being able to have all of these other facets that I've talked about be available at any time for the customer. Because a customer is going to use the channel that makes the most sense for them at that time. It's not to say that I'm always going to use the mobile app, or I'm the person that always calls in to an agent. It's about education and letting them know that these things are available. But again, because customers don't differentiate between channels, they're going to use the one that makes the most sense for them at that time and for the goal that they're trying to reach. So I've got an example of an interaction that goes across a couple different kinds of channels and shows you how we can personalize inside of those channels. So our traveler here, she's just flown into town and she's looking to book a hotel very quickly. So she calls into the phone number for her hotel, but within a couple of seconds, for whatever reason, the call drops. So that's frustrating. That's just something that happens sometimes with IVR, but it's definitely frustrating. Well, she's called in from a mobile device and we can recognize that. So what we've done as the hotel now is shot her a quick SMS and said, listen, we can help you finish your reservation. Just reply to this email saying book now, and we can go ahead and get you started. So we're now switching from the voice channel, IVR, over to the SMS channel because she has the mobile device that we've recognized. And here it is. So book now, and we can do this over SMS. Contact agent, we can have somebody give you a quick call back, or you can just click this number and give a call back into the IVR. So she replies, book now. And what we're responding with is to say, please respond with the room type, when you want to book, the name of the city and town, or if you need to do this in Spanish, please respond with Espanol. Now, what we can do inside of the SMS channel, and really any type of text channel, or even taking speech to text, is ask somebody to reply in normal language, not in any type of computer speak or inside of very specific and narrow prompts like sometimes you find in IVRs. So she says, I need a non-smoking room with a king bed tonight in Cleveland. So normally this might be tough, but what we're able to figure out is 1, non-smoking, 2, king bed. Tonight it can change that to the day that we're in, and then Cleveland, it's taking Cleveland, Ohio as the most likely. And so we say that, well, there's 5 of our monument hotels in the Cleveland area. Do you want the closest to your location or a list of all? Well, how do we know what's the closest? So closest location is going to queue up the GPS or the cell phone triangulation on somebody's phone to be able to determine from their current location what that closest hotel is. So we've got details. This is the closest hotel, and if she wants to stay here, yes. If not, please click next, and I'll go over what would happen if she clicks next later. So if she does yes, now we've got some data. She says, here's your reservation, checking in tonight, checking out tomorrow, and here's the rate including taxes. If this is correct, click book or reply with book my room. This is very simple, it's linear, and this is all automated. This is not through an agent. So she replies, she's got her confirmation number, she's got the address previously. We can send another confirmation text over that would allow you to open up Google Maps or whatever the Maps application is on your phone to be able to get driving directions. But what if she instead says, well, I want some more options instead of booking that hotel? That's really not the closest one is not the one that's for me. So when we do more options, now what we'll get back is a list of the other 4 closest hotels to her location, and just reply back with the with the distances also. So reply back with the corresponding hotel number to book a room, and we can go through that same process again. So we're staying inside of this mobile channel. We've accomplished it without having to bring an agent in. We've satisfied the customer because they've been quickly able to do their booking, and this has been the context preservation from calling in the IVR to do the room booking. Now we've got a different option. What if we want to instead do it inside of a mobile web application? We can quickly do it inside of mobile web because maybe it's going to take too long or there's not necessarily a good enough signal to download and install and go through doing so with a native application. So we can do the same type of booking through a very light and simple website. Again, the applications that we've designed are central, and then we're customizing it and adding a bit more functionality if it's possible because it's a different and more visual channel. So we go through our room booking. We've got all of our confirmations here. We've got a different hotel that we're booking at, and now we can go ahead and do a quick booking this way when we've got our confirmation number. Now, SMS is a channel that's sometimes difficult to personalize. Mobile web, more simple to personalize, the same with a native web application. But what if we have, somebody who's coming in and they're an existing customer over SMS? Well, so how do we make it easier and how do we recognize them? So because you've signed up as a customer before, the SMS channel can give you some of those personalizations. Maybe you've got a particular bed type that you like. Maybe you want to be closer to the elevators. Maybe you've got some other requests for your room, a handicap room. Maybe you want a particular newspaper delivered each morning. All of these things are possible pulling in from the CRM or another type of customer data system because we've recognized you're an existing customer, and we see that this is your phone. We're able to recognize who you are and what your status is with us and what your special requests may be. So instead, now we're saying, we recognize this customer, hello Oswald, please reply with closest to search for the closest, or for another location, provide that city and state. So just by saying closest and recognizing those preferences, we're going to offer a superior king bed room, which is his preferred room type in Portland where he's staying right now. So this can go as far as you want, this can be as narrow as you want, but adding that personalization goes a very long way. And so another example we'd like to give is something going back to the bank. Maybe you're calling in to change your address, and you've started the address change, but doing so over the phone becomes a little bit difficult. It's not recognizing your street name. What the IVR can do at that time is send a quick SMS, and this is using a new product from Aspect called Text to IVR. It'll send a quick SMS for something that's a little bit more complicated for a speech recognition engine to understand, allow you to reply with it over SMS because now you know the information is correct, all while maintaining the IVR that you're currently in. You don't have to hang up. So this would be something like, change of address. Maybe you've got a strange street name, or it's asking you to input, your driver's license number or some other long string that when speaking it is difficult for the system to understand. We can do this in stream, preserve the context of that interaction, and pass it forward. Or if you've tried to do it you don't have it's not working, and you go and sign in later to the web application on the desktop or your native device, we can reference that last interaction point and say this person was trying to update their address and offer that to them like as a banner right away as soon as they log into that application, instead of them having to navigate and try to find where that account setting is. So what are the value propositions for this? Well, you see them here. Personalization goes a long way towards maintaining your relationship with the customer. Show them that you know them. For the agents and for the call center, reducing these transaction times and call durations is huge, and even better if it's being able to be done through automation without getting to an agent. Improving that first contact resolution and improving that customer experience all tie together to really get you the benefits of the best in class of omni-channel, taking what are likely siloed channels and siloed customer service applications and being able to let them share data, and then improving the quality of those applications so that the customer can go to whichever channel they like at the time that they need to and be confident in the results of that interaction. So I appreciate everybody taking this time to come in and learn about Aspect's continuity server, the context cookies, and this experience continuity. This is going to be a major theme moving forward, and it's really going to be one of the key things that contact centers and customer experience managers are going to be looking towards. Should you have any questions, please get in touch with us by phone or by email, chat on our website. Thank you all very much for attending.